Welcome back to Fox Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain the movie Angel, released in the year 2016. The movie begins with a young girl named Louise, who is madly in love with a magician she assists. The magician's specialty is being invisible. Sadly, one day, the magician becomes invisible in one of their performances and never returns. Following his disappearance, Louise becomes a prey of depression. However, for some reason, she always believes that he will return to her someday. Soon, she starts to hallucinate and becomes delusional, causing her to end up in a mental asylum. In the following scene, we find out that Louise is pregnant with the magician's baby. After 9 months of the magician's disappearance, Louise goes into labor. Since no one in the asylum is aware about her pregnancy, she gives birth to a baby boy on her own. Shockingly, the baby is invisible. Being aware that her son will become a test subject for experiments, Louise keeps his existence a secret. Although the nurses come every day to give food and medicine to Louise, they never find out about the invisible kid living in the same room. Louise has named her son Angel. Even though he's different from the rest of the world, she raises him like a normal kid. Eventually, she teaches him to eat, speak, and have fun. When he grows old enough, she uses chalk on the wall to teach him how to read and write. Angel, who's fond of his mother's dresses and shoes, wears them sometimes and looks at himself in the mirror. But all he can see is just the dress hanging in the air. Every night, Louise tells her son about her childhood stories. One being about a cabin in the middle of the woods where she used to travel with her parents during her summer vacations. She further explains that there's a lake nearby the cabin and remembers how she used to swim on a hot evening. As she tells her story to Angel, she expresses her desire to take him to the lake and live in the cabin with him. When Angel hears about swimming in the lake, he curiously asks how it feels, and Louise describes to him it's like flying through the air. During Angel's birthdays, Louise lights up rolled pages as candles and puts them on top of 2 slices of her breakfast bread as a cake. Since Angel is oblivious to the outside world, he never complains and is happy with whatever his mother offers to him. As the years pass, Angel grows up to be a smart 10-year-old, but doesn't come to terms with his invisibility. With growing age, his curiosity grows as well. One morning, he climbs on a chair and looks outside the window. He's amazed to see a girl of his age with her parents outside her home. While walking, she stumbles on the ground and is picked up by her mother. When Angel returns to Louise in bed and tells her about the girl, she is terrified of her son's growing curiosity about the outside world. Since he's different from the others, Louise warns him not to talk to anyone because they'll fear him. Although Angel will be able to see them, they will not see him. Hence, Louise asks him not to reveal himself among normal people for his safety. Later that evening, Angel climbs on the chair again and looks at the girl. He watches her play the piano and listens to it, hoping to meet her someday. The next morning, Angel combs his mother's hair, puts lipstick on her lips, and asks her what it's like to see oneself in a mirror. Louise explains that it's more difficult to see oneself in the mirror than to see someone else. Afterwards, he desires to hear more about the cabin on the lake, but Louise refuses to tell, saying she's tired. After several weeks, Louise's condition has started to deteriorate. Since she has fallen deep into depression, she barely talks to Angel. Lonely and distressed, Angel looks out of the window again to see the girl. Surprisingly, she is watching him back. He tells Louise that the little girl is outside the house and looking at him. However, Louise is unresponsive and turns away. So he walks out of the asylum without being noticed. For the first time in his life, he feels the outside world, breathing the fresh air and walking in the grass. Thinking the little girl will not see him, he walks near her. As soon as Angel reaches close to her, she jumps from the swing and greets him. Stunned, Angel asks if she can see him. When she explains that she can't see him with her eyes but can hear and smell him, Angel realizes that she's blind. She explains that she can feel his presence whenever he's nearby. Then she introduces herself as Madeline. Angel, who has been watching her for a long time, confesses that he likes the way she plays the piano. However, she laughs and tells him that she just presses on the same tone and can't play the piano. As they converse, Madeline asks Angel to come closer and touches his hand. Angel becomes anxious because he's never been touched by anyone else except his mother. Thus, he decides to go back. Before leaving, Madeline makes him promise to visit her again. Since both of them don't have any friends, they decide to become friends. Thrilled to have found someone, Angel returns to Louise and explains about Madeline as he lies on her side on the bed. She expresses her concerns, saying what will become of her son when she's not around. However, Angel describes that he felt his existence for the first time in his life after meeting Madeline. The following day, Angel visits Madeline, who is happy to have him around. She caresses his face and feels the proximity. While she feels his face and imagines how he looks, Angel also compliments her beauty. Later, the two of them play hide and seek for hours, even though one of them is invisible and the other is blind. Soon, the pair becomes inseparable as they spend most of their time together talking and playing. The movie then fast-forwards by a few years, where both Angel and Madeline have become teens. One day, Madeline asks Angel to kiss her and look at her body so that she can feel his gaze. Angel obliges and explains the way she looks and expresses his love for her. Later, he goes back to his mother and reads her a story to make her sleep. After a few days, Madeline reveals that she's about to undergo an eye surgery soon and get her eyesight back. While she's pleased to see Angel finally, the latter is sad that his only companion will leave him once she's aware of the truth. She promises to return after a couple of months and wants him to wait for her until then. When Angel worries about Madeline's hatred for him after the surgery, she explains that she loves everything about him: his voice, skin, smell, and taste. Before leaving, the two of them spend a week together and enjoy their time. After Madeline leaves, one night Louise finally speaks after several months to her son. She asks him to go to the cabin near the lake if she dies. The next morning, when Angel wakes up, he finds his mother dead. The little kid is devastated to lose his mother and his friend. Lonely and agonized, he boards a train and goes to the cabin as described by his mother. When he gets visions of Madeline coming out of the lake, he becomes upset and returns back. Having nowhere to go, he breaks into Madeline's house and starts to live there. After a few years, when Angel grows up into a man, Madeline returns to her house and immediately starts searching for him. She goes to the asylum to get his information, but doesn't find anything since the asylum has no record of his existence. Although Angel has been looking at her, she can't see him now as she has regained her eyesight. After finding out about Louise's grave, she drops a letter for Angel there, requesting to show himself. However, Angel doesn't speak to her despite living at her house and observing her everyday activities. Sometimes Madeline feels his presence, but because she can't see him, she thinks it's just her imagination. One day, when Angel can't bear to take it any further, he writes a letter to Madeline and leaves it on her desk. He writes that he's waited for her for a long time and misses her. However, he feels that she will not like him after seeing his appearance. He states that he can only meet her if she keeps her eyes closed. Later, when Madeline reads the letter, she closes her eyes and immediately feels his presence. She meets him outside with her eyes closed and takes him inside with her. As they lie down by each other's side on the bed, Madeline caresses his face and smells his scent, trying to relive their old memories. Although she tells Angel that his smell has changed, she mentions that she can still recognize him. Furthermore, Madeline explains that Angel still makes her giddy. Soon, Madeline is blindfolded and naked, calling Angel to make love to her. After years of staying away from each other, the two are overpowered by love and emotions. A week passes by as the two fall in love again and spend their precious time together. Although Madeline is blindfolded constantly, it doesn't seem to bother her. Having stayed alone without any existence for several years, Angel thinks it's the best time of his life. One day, Angel takes Madeline to his mother's cabin in the lake with her eyes closed. He asks her to sit by the bridge's edge and open her eyes. Upon opening her eyes, she sees the lake and is fascinated by the view. She wants Angel to reveal himself inside the cabin, but he refuses. Slowly, he kisses her on the neck from behind and assures to reveal himself at night. Later that night, inside Madeline's bedroom, Angel is covered in the sheets as he sits on the bed. When Angel worries that his girlfriend will not accept his appearance, she assures that she will love him no matter how he looks. First, he takes his hand out of the sheet, shocking Madeline. Immediately, she pulls off the sheet from his body and finds nothing there. Finally, she realizes that he's invisible. She breaks down and cries for the whole night. When she falls asleep on the ground, Angel puts a pillow under her head and a blanket over her. Meanwhile, she wakes up and realizes that Angel is beside her. Realizing that she loves him and can't live without him, she decides to live with him with her eyes closed. The following morning, when Madeline wakes up, she realizes that Angel is gone. She reads his letter, which explains that he's upset to see her embarrassed and disappointed after finding out about his invisibility. Therefore, he wants her to be happy without him and move on with her life. But he mentions that he'll always love her. When Madeline is about to pack her luggage and leave, she realizes that going away from her love will never make her happy. She remembers the cabin and decides to go there. As she went there with her eyes closed earlier, she does the same this time and also counts the number of steps. Finally, she reaches the cabin when she opens her eyes. Since she can feel Angel around, she asks him to show himself. However, Angel doesn't speak to her. Instead, he jumps into the lake. When Madeline hears the splash in the lake, she realizes it's him. She also knows that Angel doesn't know how to swim, so she quickly jumps into the lake. Although she can't see him, she somehow succeeds in bringing him to the shore. Then she gives him CPR until he gains consciousness. Afterwards, Madeline confesses that it's an end to their misery and she wants to live with him for the rest of her life. Since Angel doesn't like Madeline to close her eyes and act blind to be with him, she promises to learn to feel and see him with her eyes open. At the end of the movie, Angel and Madeline live a happy life as a couple. As promised, she has started to see Angel with her eyes open. Not only that, Madeline also gets pregnant with Angel's baby. Later, she gives birth to a baby girl who is visible, unlike Angel. Using Angel's invisibility, they start their own magic show. The movie ends as Madeline teaches Angel how to swim. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.